to the last Infinity event, which was last year, or to this one. Like that's been the common through line. And the reason why the through line is important is because it's really what your company value is. So one of my company values that we stand on in our company is community, connection, and strategy. So those are the three pillars that I want people to get when they come to my event: community, connection, and strategy.
What's up, and welcome back to the Scale Your Sales podcast. I am your host and your soon-to-be podcast BFF, Jillian Murphy. If you are absolutely exhausted of hearing the same podcast that only leaves you feeling motivated and just a bunch of fluff, well, you have absolutely landed on the right podcast today. In this episode, we are going to talk about the most important skill you need to generate your business, and that is sales. We are going to dive into topics such as messaging, marketing, how to build lead generation organically, and we are going to talk about how to create consistent cash months inside of your business. And we are also going to talk about how to build a company that isn't just about making money, but is also bringing in actual wealth, while getting back to what I know is your most important thing: time freedom. Now, I am here for real talk, real advice, straightforward tip, and no BS. You can always walk away and implement everything that we talk about in our show and move it into your business immediately. But I have to tell you, I am not your typical business mentor. We are going to talk about things that nobody else is probably talking about on the internet. We are going to talk about what it takes to build a real company, and not just about how to manifest your business or how you can make $1 million tomorrow. But if that's what you're looking for, this podcast is absolutely not for you. We are going to talk about the real skills to build a real business. Now, I have spent over 25 years in the corporate sales space, generating over $100 million in sales through multiple industries in the online and the brick and mortar space. I have been able to help over 500 entrepreneurs not only grow their sales, but scale their businesses. Several times per week, I'm going to bring you solo episodes, guest episodes, and even hot seat coaching, so that you are able to scale your sales. Now, grab a pen and paper, your beverage of choice, and let's freaking go.
What's up, babes? Welcome back to the podcast. It is a beautiful Sunday here in AZ, and I was actually really thinking about what I wanted to talk about today on the podcast. You guys know I always come in hot with what I want to talk about, but what I actually want to talk about is live events. And I want to talk about live events because I just actually came off of my live event. We had Infinity Live this week. It was 2 days. It was absolutely epic. And the reason why I want to talk about this is, number one, there were so many great takeaways that I'm going to give you guys. And if you are not in this room and you're not part of Infinity, literally, what are you doing with your life, honestly? But number two, I think this can really be a really great takeaway podcast episode for you, to also really ask yourself some really good questions before you invest in your next room or your next event or even your next mentor. Because there were some really great takeaways that I even asked my own mentor, Chris, that came into the mastermind and spoke. So number one, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody that supported this event. It was absolutely amazing. And, we see people crushing events online, and we see, it looks really great for, 6 hours, 8 hours, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, however long it is. But it takes a village to honestly get an event put together. Everything from running to Staples at 7:00 at night because there was an error, to rearranging tablecloths because the wrong colors came in, to running and getting me a brush because I don't like my hair, how it looks in pictures at the beginning of the day, door dashing me underwear because my dress was a little shorter than I expected, right? So many things that you guys don't see that just makes it look like it really comes off totally fine. But I could not have put this event together without my team, without my event planner, without my boyfriend, without my video team, literally without everybody. And I'm just so insanely grateful and just in massive gratitude for everybody that was behind the scenes. Number two, I want to thank the speakers that came into this event, because the speakers that have come to my events have always been good. Like, you guys know, I have brought the best of the best every single time I've hosted an event. But every time I have put myself in bigger rooms, or I've made a bigger investment, or I've expanded, or I've evolved, that's also allowed me to hold a bigger space. And it's allowed me to have bigger asks, and it's allowed me to hold a bigger room. And the level of people that came into this room, the level of entrepreneurs that I was actually able to bring into this room, interview, have conversations with, and just feel like they were literally my friends that I was having at the front of this room. This is not the same person that I was probably even a year ago, looking back at this live event, even a year ago. I mean, yeah, I had some great speakers a year ago, but even the women that were in the group that were there a year ago, they were like, I cannot believe how much this has up leveled from 1 year. And I can't wait to see what it's like for even next year, or 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. One thing that I do know that's very important to me, and I want to say this like publicly on the podcast, is this event will never get huge. I am not one that's looking to fill auditoriums. I am not one that's looking to get really discounted from her audience and have, 3, 4, 5, 6, 800 people at an event. I know without a shadow of a doubt I could do it, and I could fill a really big room, and I could make that my goal. But that's not what I want. I want a really intimate group of entrepreneurs, very similar to the mastermind that I'm in, right? 28, 30, 40, 45 entrepreneurs coming together for 3 or 4 days to really just mastermind and workshop and be so connected to speakers that it's not just about like parading them across stages. And that's why I really wanted to thank my speakers, because no one just came in and spoke at my audience. They came in and they like sat down and like ate with them, and they had conversations in the hallway with them. They came in an hour early, they came an hour late, they stood in the back of the room, they signed books, they took pictures, they took selfies. Like, for the level of speakers that I have, and when I mean level of speakers, like the caliber of speakers that I had, you don't see this at other events. You don't see this level and this caliber of speakers doing this, like staying after and taking pictures, or signing books, or being able to just have conversations in the hallway. And I truly believe it's because I built the relationships that I have. And it's really about what one of my main speakers, Jeff Fenster, said. It's like, when you serve other people first, then your audience wants to really pour into you. So number two, I'm just really, really grateful for the speakers that I had. And maybe right now you're thinking about an event, or you're thinking about, creating something like this. Get really clear of like, what are the most important things that you want to create? So for me, some of the biggest things for me, especially with an event, are food. It's kind of like a wedding. My daughter's getting married in 6 weeks. Food is really important to me. People were raving and are still raving about the food that we supplied. That's really important to me. If people are going to invest in 2 days with me, I want to make sure they get really quality, high level food. I'm not giving you like lunch in a box. I'm not providing food. And I'm not even like giving you like shit food. Like, I want to provide you with a really good meal, because that's what you remember. Kind of like going to a wedding, you remember the food and you remember the DJ or like the band, right? So my version of the band or the DJ is the speakers and the experience that they got. So that's very important to me. So when people want to speak into my event, one of the things I say is like, it's very important they don't just hear you, but they also experience you. So that means that they get to learn from you, but they get to connect with you. They get to feel like connected. And that was also something that was really, really important to me. So again, just like massive shout out to my speakers. And then the number 3 thing is like, what is the room that you're trying to curate? So even from my smallest event, which my first event, you guys, was 7 people in Sedona. That was my first event, now to 40 some people here in Scottsdale. The through line is the same. It was, I wanted people to walk away with business strategy, and I wanted them to walk away with community connections. And that through line has been the same throughout every event I've done, whether it's been 5 or 7 women in Sedona, which was my first event, or it was 7 or 8 women, or I think there was like 12 women at my sales and social roundtable, whether it was the sales society event where there was 15 entrepreneurs that stayed in a house with me for 5 days, to the last Infinity event, which was last year, or to this one. Like, that's been the common through line. And the reason why the through line is important is because it's really what your company value is. So one of my company values that we stand on in our company is community, connection, and strategy. So those are the 3 pillars that I want people to get when they come to my event: community, connection, and strategy. So then I build everything around that. So maybe you're listening to this podcast right now. So I got to grab some water. Who else does not love like a sparkling water? I probably drink like 87 bubblies a day. But you have to think of like, what is your through line for your company, and make sure that everything goes through that. And then the last thing that's really important thinking about events is like, what are the takeaways and how are they going to be supported after? Because I'm sure right now you're listening to a podcast, or you've gone to an event, or you've signed up for a program, or whatever it is, and you've gone and you felt really fired up. You went to the event, you grabbed your journal, you were going to change the fucking world when you walked out of that event. And guess what? You went home, your husband or wife was pulling on you for something, your kids were making you crazy. Maybe you went back to your 9 to 5, or maybe you just got frustrated. Maybe you got distracted. And if you're anything like me, you get distracted like 87 times per day. And maybe you just want to have anybody to keep you accountable. That is like going to an event and lighting your money on fire. So one of the reasons why Infinity works so well is because we don't just want to pour into you for 2 days. We want to then take everything that you're learning and we want to implement it with you. So I'll give you an example. We had this guy, Mike Schmidt, come to the meeting, or come to the Infinity Live, and he's actually my webinar coach. I hired him. He's literally a genius. And he came and spoke about building out a 7-figure webinar. If you do this for a year, you'll make $1 million. But if he just taught that, it'd be like, cool, great, I can learn this and I can make $1 million in a year. But not if you don't have anyone holding you accountable. Not if you don't have anybody asking you, like, how's it going? Not if you don't have anybody helping you with the data. Not if you don't have anybody that's like, hey, now that nobody didn't show up on your webinar, what are you going to do next? Right? So you're not just going to the event and learning, but you're going to the event and then you're getting massive implementation and integration to take it to the next step. So I think this is a really good time for you to even look back and ask yourself, like, what are the things that you're investing in that feel really good, that feel really fun, that maybe you're having FOMO? And then it's like, was this money really well spent? Because was I able to actually like implement and integrate into our world? It brings me to our last topic. I got a lot of people into my DMs last week that were like, tell me when your next event is. I can't wait to come to your event. Your event looks so great. And you guys, I've really wrestled with this because we actually sold 12 tickets to our event this year. And I'm so grateful for those 12 women that came to our event, because more than half of them actually joined our Infinity program. But I don't think in 2026 or 2025, whenever our next one is, that this will be something that I sell tickets to. This is such a sacred community, and this is such a close-knit community that I don't want this to be something that someone just comes to an event for. I want it to be for the person that understands the importance of mentorship, that someone that understands long-term mentorship, someone that understands like what it takes to go the distance to be a business owner. And then because of that, you get access to our community. You get access to it. Because I see so many of you guys wasting money on events. I see so many of you guys wasting money, flying all over the country, getting dressed up, dressing up like a Barbie and going to all this shit. And like your business isn't changing. And I don't ever want to be the person that you're like, oh, I went to Jillian Murphy's event and it was a really great 2 days, but nothing changed in my business after. So I actually don't think we're going to open up tickets. I think this is going to be part of our program. And when you're serious about building a business and you're serious about linking arms with me and you're serious about going the distance and being a community that expands you and evolves you, then you get to sit at our table. That's like a really great table. And you get to link arms with some really incredible speakers. You get to be in it. I mean, I think about my mentor, Chris Harder, we have a mastermind that we're in for 12 months. And then we have a 4-day event. Chris is not selling tickets to the 4-day event. I mean, he totally could. He could probably sell a ticket for 25 grand, if not more. But that's not how it works. So I think I'm going to almost take that same model and be like, no, you actually don't get to just come to our event. You get to come to our event because you understand the importance of mentorship and linking arms with a mentor that gets it. So you guys, until next time, you know where to find me. My DMs are always open. Make sure if you guys have not attended our webinar, you go to my Instagram, send me a DM, message me the word webinar. We are running a webinar every single Wednesday from now until eternity, it feels like, on how to close deals in the DMs, whether you're selling a $5,000 product, a $25 product, a $30,000 product, it doesn't matter. I'm going to teach you how to close any single price point in any single niche. Yes, I will bust all the myths for you, but you got to come to the webinar to check it out. It's every single Wednesday. I cannot wait to have you there. Until next time, happy selling.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Scale Your Sales podcast. If today's episode has you fired up, would you do me a huge favor and leave a review over on Apple or Spotify podcast? Or, of course, you can always take a screenshot and share it on your social media. That is the way we grow this show and so that other people can absolutely learn how to grow their sales as well. I am on a mission to change the mindset of sales. I want people to freaking love sales because the reality is sales is the foundation of everything you do. It's how your business generates revenue consistently. So remember, keep showing up and being unapologetic about selling because once you fall in love with selling, the sky is absolutely the limit. Until next time, happy selling, and my DMs are always open. I can't wait to get to know you better.